hear that.
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies. Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies. It is I, your host, Matt Shore, and with me as always is my bestest mensch, Mike Kolar.
Mensch? Is that what you're gonna...
I think that's what they say on The Office, is it not?
Oh yeah, I love
good
The
surprises. The only good surprise in my life is your friendship. Everything else right now is trash.
It's a surprise that I'm your friend?
It's a surprise that anyone still is at this point, to be honest.
Oh, gotcha.
Got like two left in this world. Last week, and because of the stuff we've been doing on this show, if you don't know what this show is, basically we are professional film reviewers. You tell us about movies that we might not have seen, like Unhappy Meal, which was Die Hard set in a McDonald's in Bulgaria.
Classic.
And last week we talked about Chimp Patrol, an 80s movie where a man teams up with a chimp to solve a diamond heist.
Another classic.
They're all classics here. Yeah, our friends, if you have a movie you'd like to submit to us, just go to @MadeUpMoviesPod on Twitter and tell us the log line in a sentence and what the title is of these made up movies. That's what we're calling them. But I mean, we would never just like make up a bunch of stuff.
No, these are real movies that we watched.
Yeah, these are totally real.
Yes.
Totally real.
And we reviewed them because that's what we do.
And you can't see us winking right now, so we definitely aren't winking. I think that's fair to say. We're just not
doing
winking.
Air quotes. We are.
Now, another thing that's very real, a bunch of people got very upset with our show over the past couple weeks because they said that in these very real movies that we talk about on the show and review, they said that the representation of women has not been great. And we agree.
We don't disagree.
We didn't make these things up, so
no.
It's not our fault that they have been very, very sexist.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is Bulgaria's fault, number one.
Well, let's not, just in case they get invaded sometime soon, we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple weeks. It's getting a little hairy right here at the time we're recording this.
Yeah, but none of those movies passed the Bechdel test, even though some were recommended by women, so it's not like... Yeah, we didn't do it on purpose.
We do get a lot of suggestions from women, and we are men who have been designed by God for the ladies. That's what I always say. When I look at
thing
you,
to say.
And when I look at me, I say, well, God must have loved the ladies because they just got a treat.
What?
A little ice cream sprinkles. You know what I mean?
You say that? Stop.
I say it to myself in the mirror when I'm trying to stop crying.
Fine. Don't actually say it to other people, though.
No, I would never put it on recording. Let's just say that.
You just did.
I don't know if that's... No one's gonna hear us, except all those dumb ladies who were... Oh,
boy, this is off to a very bad start.
I'm in trouble again. But no, we wanted to do something that was more female-driven, with strong female characters. And so we asked for suggestions from some of our favorite ladies on the internet. We got actually a slew of cool and very funny responses back. Very funny suggestions from everybody who submitted. They're all on our list of things to watch. And if you have submitted stuff and you're like, hey, where's my movie? It's on our list. We will get to it eventually.
Yeah, calm down, dum-dum. We're going to get to it.
Women aren't dumb. Kolar isn't saying that women are dumb.
The voice you used was a man's voice. I'm saying if you're complaining that we haven't gotten to a movie yet.
A woman can sound either way. She can sound high-voiced or low-voiced or male-facing or female-facing. She's still a woman. Let's cover our bases.
It was a dumb voice, so I thought I called them dumb.
Bulgaria is a real country. It deserves respect. And, okay, I don't know which way this conflict is turning. Putin did nothing wrong. Let's just say that... in case he wins.
In case he wins, you cover your bases.
Just in case he wins. You don't know. I think he's a rat-faced bastard who poisons people, but in case he wins, I love him. That's called covering the bases. Let's hope he only hears half that sentence.
Well, you can cut it out if need be. You can cut the.
I'm not that skilled with this thing.
If
you want proof of that, listen to Bunker Brothers. You'll see the editing on that is a little dicey.
It's perfect.
So
let's get into the movie.
Let's get into it. So we were going to review. As I jumble over my own words, I'm going to jumble them up and use other real words. Jumple. Let's jumble right into this. And we're going to talk about a movie we got from our friend Michaela Stewart, which is called A Hometown Halloween. And this is a Hallmark holiday Halloween movie.
Yeah, they're trying to, I guess, branch into not just Christmas movies, but also other holidays, which is smart because there's a lot of holidays.
Now, what I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, is that women like to watch movies year-round. Is that true?
You heard that? That is true, yes. I don't
You're
know
engaged to, I presume, a woman.
Yes. Yeah. She likes watching movies, and Hallmark movies especially, because...
Does Babs like... I'm sorry, did Hallmark I just dox her?
Yeah, you just doxed her. So if you could cut that out, that'd be great.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right, here we go. Does Babs like real Hallmark movies like this?
No, I think she watches the Christmas movies at Christmas time. But then she'll watch like Lifetime movies, like that's real. So
what's the difference? Is there a distinction?
Well, Hallmark movies is like the guy's a nice guy, and then in Lifetime movies the guy's gonna like murder you. Usually,
okay,
it's a main difference.
That's a great way of describing it because I immediately know because Lifetime is Mother May I Sleep with Danger, right?
Yes,
right,
exactly.
And Hallmark is oh gosh, I have to go back. Yeah, right. Okay.
Mother May I Sleep with a Reindeer. That's what they say.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. See, we may not. Well, I clearly don't understand women. I'm not good talking to the ladies. I'm single. If anyone out there wants to write in and give me advice on dating, I need all the help I can get. Kolar here, lucky in love, lucky in life, Mr. Happening? King of Chicago.
What?
He knows what's up. I'm the kind of dummy one here. So I mean. I guess I'm learning a lot here about the distinctions between these two genres. But let's talk about our film that Michaela sent in called A Hometown Halloween.
Yes.
So the summary of this movie is, it says, when Stella's lease runs out in the big city, she returns to her hometown where she runs into a lost love from high school. The trouble is, he's been cursed to work at the spirit store until he settles a debt with a demon.
It's good, and it's a great premise. And
it was
for a Hallmark
exciting.
movie, there's a lot going on. It's not just like all these other all the Christmas Hallmark movies seem to be filmed in like one Christmas village that Hallmark must own.
Right, in the middle of June, so everyone's like sweltering hot, and there's always some dude who plays
so
like
sunny, right?
Yeah, there's always some like kind of doughy guy who's either like 40 to like 80, and he always like works at the bakery or is the caretaker of the estate, and he
owns a local patisserie and has a very big house,
because he's heavy set. The only thing that'll fit him is like DXL checkered shirts, and so he's just sweltering in these like he has to be dressed for winter.
Yeah, it's just not.
He's just sweating.
And I mean, this movie sort of follows the Hallmarky path of like it follows pretty much the same plot, but I would say that it's like there's way more surprises and it's more interesting than a Hallmark movie, I guess. Because it's Halloween, they're like, well, we can throw some fucking creepy stuff in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they did have a few quote-unquote scary things, but the effects budget isn't so great. So there was a lot of very plastic-looking dolls being thrown at Stella throughout this movie.
Again, it's like... It's that thing where it's like, well, it's filmed at a Spirit Halloween store, so it's the same thing. Yeah. It's like, we already got the props.
A lot of the dolls came alive, At one point, I'm pretty sure I saw a PA's hand reaching through a rack and just throwing action figures at her. I don't think
he could have been a ghost though. That's the thing. They didn't necessarily.
Well, they ADR'd some like voices in for them and stuff like that. But
very
like
Gremlins-esque. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little. Well, let's set it up. Stella herself is like I don't know. I've seen a couple of these, but from what I know, this is kind of like I actually found her performance very likable. Like, she's not the world's greatest actress, but she's not bad. It's like, it's clear why she got the lead in this.
Yeah.
And so she's sort of clumsy, and unlike Kolar, she is unlucky in life and in love. She lives in the big city, indeterminate.
Just a bigger city, which might just be sound effects to make it sound like there's cars outside of her apartment. Because
it might be Minneapolis, it might be the fake New York in Disney MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios or whatever they call it now. But yeah, so she lives in the big city, and things just aren't going right for her. So there's this guy that she's like. She thinks things are going to be taken to the next level with him. Like, the setup is that she thinks he's going to propose, right?
Yeah. And then,
and she goes to meet him at the coffee shop. Yeah. And the coffee shop is like, the one thing that bugs me is that, is that it seems like even before she gets to the cornball small town, even when she's in the big city, everything is like dialed up to 9 in terms of like how the people are dressed and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the hipster coffee place they go to, it's like they were like, okay, so the hipster barista has to be wearing a wool hat and the hipster nerd glasses and have 7 piercings and the gauge and be sort of dressed like Kurt Cobain,
over the top,
and have a bit. It's like, and need some strappy things on her arm and has a little bit of a feather ear. It was just like,
it was. It looked like Coachella in that coffee shop, and it was.
It looked like they were supposed to have 2 baristas. And they're like, oh, the other guy got sick, so let's just put all of the costumes on this one lady to save time.
But, so she goes to meet him, and then, of course, he's on a date with somebody else.
Oh, that's right. Yes, she intercepted a text that wasn't even meant for her.
Right.
Oh, no, the wires got crossed or something. Yeah. I don't know how they understand texting technology in this film. But the wires got crossed.
This guy's no good, essentially.
Yeah, he sent the text to the wrong person. He's like, hey, babe, can't wait to see you tonight. She's like, I didn't even know we were meeting. Oh, Stella, you dunderhead. You messed up again. Dunder Mifflin head.
And I don't know what her... to be fair, also, I think she's supposed to be like a journalist or something. But
they're always supposed to be. That's the thing. It's like when you're in the big city, you're a journalist or a lawyer.
There's no one can make a living in a big city as a journalist unless like.
I think it's safe to say no one can make a living as a journalist.
Right. It's a dead profession, and you're honestly better off just being a barista. Honestly, the barista was probably a journalist in real life.
Just a sidebar, there's no safe journalism anymore. Maybe the only kind of safe journalism to get into now is theme park journalism. And even there, because of like the COVID-19 stuff, you are gonna get spit on at Space Mountain by some Floridian who does not want to mask up. It's inevitable.
Or they think like you're reporting on them about QAnon or something. It's like, well, I'm just at Disney. I'm trying to enjoy the rides at Disney World. This is my job.
I just want to see what Princess Tiana's Splash Mountain looks like, please.
I gotta see it. It's gonna be cool. It's new.
You don't want to be a games journalist. I would love if anyone out there can find a movie about a scrappy female games journalist and submit that to us. That's what I would like to see.
I mean, it would basically be this movie. It's the same movie.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of, like, specifically for me. Like, she could just be a real...
Oh, are you talking about trying to find a date by asking their listeners to...
Or a movie, or a date. Okay. Whichever will help me pass the time until the world ends, I guess. Seeking a friend for the end of the world. That's a movie. So you see
it's not
movies.
Good. It's not good.
Professional film review. It's not good? Okay.
That movie sucks. It's so boring.
Hey, while we're on the subject of stuff that sucks, have you watched the new Texas Chainsaw yet, since we're on Halloween terms?
It's fine. It's super violent. It's fine. It's like, I like how, I mean, if you're gonna redo a movie like that, I'm glad it's they made it super violent, but also what they did, which I thought was very stupid. Spoiler alert, but it doesn't matter. They brought back like the main girl from like the original Texas Chainsaw to be like the hero. Like she's like Jamie Lee Curtis, but it's like, I don't know who the fuck this person is. Like, you're not Jamie Lee Curtis. I have not seen you since the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, but they like brought her back like it's supposed to be super exciting, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't know who this person is.
Kolar's like my horror guru. I think horror is like, you were more into horror than I am. I sort of came to you with a lot of recommendations when I wanted to get into horror. So I'm glad we were talking about this movie together, because you'll be able to help walk us through a little bit of some of the horror tropes that this film, it seems to be like trying to represent them. But yeah, long story short, you know the setup of these kind of movies. She finds out that she's been getting cheated on, and the other girl in the relationship, who just seems like a more put together version of her, I think is like supposed to represent like who Stella could be if she like self-actualized.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And they're like, sorry, it's just, you know, this is the big city, and you're just a small town.
That's essentially what he says. I didn't know we were exclusive. It's the big city.
It's the big city. This is just how things roll. We're ethically non-monogamous now.
She's like, I didn't know that. I thought you were going to propose. He's like, yeah, a lot of women think that.
The fifth women in our ethically non-monogamous relationship? No thanks.
He's just not a good guy.
He's a douchey guy. And so they're together. She walks out crying, and just to add pour salt on the wound, as she's like storming out upset, some, you know, basically who I would have auditioned for had I still been around when acting, a doughy character actor spills his giant pink foam latte on. He's like, sorry.
Oh, my bad, sorry.
And she's like got like whipped cream and cold brew all over her face, and she's just like, oh, and like blows it out of her hair. And then like the next scene is like her crying, and they do a thing, I think, I can't remember if they did this in what was that first movie we watched with the writer who wanted to fuck a car? Sparkplug. Sparky the spark plug. It was like she's typing like Doogie Howser style in her like journalist Google Doc diary, and it's like, I guess maybe I really am a small town girl at heart.
It's
and then
almost like it's almost like she's Carrie from Sex and the City, but like she reports.
Oh, that's what they were trying to do. Okay, I don't watch a lot of Sex and the City, but that is clearly what they were trying to.
Right, that's what they were going for.
She's a failed Carrie, so I guess that makes her just like the real Carrie, based on what I've heard of that reboot or whatever they're doing now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. People like it. I don't know. But
really?
Basically,
is it good?
I don't watch it. I the first Sex and the City was fine. I don't know.
I saw a couple of them. The only time I've ever watched it was when they did that like TNT thing where they cut out all the sex. And 30 minute episodes.
There was never that much sex in the action. I mean, they talked about it, but there was no like. I mean, that's like when I was like 13. I watched it. I was like, oh, there's sex in this city, and then there was just four ladies having issues,
having conversations. This is just a sitcom? God damn it.
This is just a sitcom?
You're lucky I love sitcoms so much, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I was 13, so I was like, this is pretty good character development, but I'm 13, I'm stupid.
Anyway. And that's how we became Abed from Community.
Yep.
But basically, so she's like, I guess I'm a small town girl at heart. And then it like cuts to her like driving home, and for some reason she's driving a car that looks so fucking old. Like it could only be a rented movie car, because it would not be in commission. It looks like almost identical to like in the National Lampoon's Vacation. They're like family Studebaker or whatever that is.
Yeah, totally. It's like it's a very old station wagon.
Green and brown paneling on the outside. Yeah. And all of her stuff is tied to the roof, even though there's space in the back.
And it's like not clear why she's like, because it's like she's a journalist in a small town. I guess she just leaves because she's brokenhearted, I guess is what happens.
I think she wants to start fresh. And I think something that guy said really hit her, where she's like, yeah, maybe it's like, this is the big city. Maybe I'm just not cut out for it. And like, she keeps bringing up the fact that her lease is up. And when people keep asking her, why did you move back? And she's like, well, my lease was up. And I got dumped.
And it seems like her lease was up, and that's what made her. That's like just her excuse to use it. She really just got dumped, and she's very hurt by it, I think.
Yeah, and like her aunt is like a big character in this. She's got like this like sort of sassy aunt who like is, I guess, single too, because she keeps saying your uncle passed. There's like a big thing with her uncle's ghost, because her aunt's constantly like, I know he's out there still watching over us, and he's like represented by like a little bell. And like whenever the bell chimes at the Spirit Halloween store, when someone comes in, they're like, oh, is that, they keep kind of hinting that that's like one of the ghosts that's actually haunting the Spirit Hall. Okay, that's skipping ahead. The Spirit Halloween actually has ghosts in it.
Yeah, it's haunted, and it's sort of like that show on TV called Ghosts, where it's just there's a bunch of fucking ghosts there.
Yes, exactly. So she moves back home, and she's like staying with her aunt, because I don't know why I say aunt instead of aunt. I can't.
Her aunt.
I think it's trying to get away from the Northeast Ohio way of saying aunt.
Accent.
Aunt.
She's staying with her aunt. She's staying with her Aunt Helen, and she is
staying with her aunt Helene.
Aunt Helen.
Her aunt Helene, and Aunt Helene is she's because her parents have actually moved down south. Yeah. I think to like Miami Beach or Florida, and because I don't know, some retirement community, so they're not in the area anymore. We only see them in like some postcard she picks up. She's like, I wish they were still around. So her childhood home has actually become a Spirit Halloween store. It's got torn down, and so that's why she's staying with her aunt. Yeah. I like saying aunt better. When I say
just
aunt,
say aunt. It's fine. It's the same thing.
It's different. Please write in on Twitter and let us know whether you say aunt or aunts. This is important. Yeah,
how are they going to say that? They're just gonna write the word. You're not going to know how they're pronounced.
It's AUNT for ants and AHNT for aunt.
I don't think that's right.
For phonetically, it is. I don't see why not.
A haunt.
It's a Halloween haunt with my favorite aunt.
Oh boy.
Wait, what's happening? Oh, my cat just burst in the room. Okay, I've got a scary cat here, and it's on my lap. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. My cat Meowth is now part of the podcast. So
say, can you make him do a trick? Her?
It's a girl. It's a girl. You know that. You know that.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm trying to pass the Bechdel test.
Oh, you're right. Wait, no, you're trying not to. We have two ladies, and they haven't actually. We haven't explained how they passed the Bechdel test, because all they've talked about so far is her failed relationship and the dead husband.
Yeah, they talk about dead men and men that are scumbags. Yeah,
but the one thing that they really both love is Halloween. There, Bechdel test passed. Well, the truth of the matter is that the Aunt Auntie loves. She loves Halloween, always goes all out to decorate. She's so excited to decorate.
Her house is always decorated to the nines.
She's really excited to decorate with her niece, but sort of in that classic Christmas movie fashion, our protagonist Stella does not like Halloween, because, as is, par for the course in her life, the last time she got when she was dumped by her lost love in high school, it was on Halloween at the big Halloween dance.
Yeah, you said, but she does like Halloween. She just doesn't like Halloween because of that moment. Because they were talking.
She used to love Halloween.
Yeah, and her aunt even says that. Her aunt even says it.
Yeah,
she used to love Halloween.
Used to love Halloween. Used to dress up like Tinkerbell and fairies and dance around in the backyard.
Ladies dress up as, is what she says.
Yeah, I mean, there was also a weird photo of her dressed like Marilyn Manson. I don't know why they made a big deal out of it. It felt really uncomfortable given recent.
It was obviously made before everything came out, I think.
I think. I mean, I'm not sure. We should check the IMDb on that one. Let me check it up.
Let me look.
No, I'm going to check faster.
And here I am checking faster than you. And I do not know how to spell Halloween, so.
It's HAHNT. Haunt. Haunt.
2016. So there you go.
That's still.
Sorry.
That's still. A little close. I'm pretty sure Evan Rachel Wood was out of the. Out the
yeah,
gate
but people didn't care back then.
Well, if you're Kanye, you don't care now. So I mean,
yeah, it's true. If you're Kanye, you don't
doesn't really matter.
That guy's the worst.
Cucked over by Pete Davidson must be the worst life in the world.
He's just the worst guy. So,
which one? Anyway,
I like Pete Davidson's fine. He's not doing anything wrong.
Okay, I guess he dated my old arch nemesis, Ariana Grande.
I don't know.
Enemy of my close personal friend, Jeanette McCurdy.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. But
if you guys don't know, I was an actor in a past life, and I did a lot of shows. Kolar's jealous. It's okay. You don't have to admit it on the air, but you can if you want.
I didn't say I was jealous. I'm not really jealous.
It sounded like you were.
I wasn't. I literally had not said anything until you said I was jealous.
I just heard the words, I was jealous. Anyone else pick up on that? So right back in your poll, if you think Kolar was jealous just now, a little bit.
It's not,
just a little bit.
Jealous. I guess I'm proud of you. I don't know.
I'll admit I've been jealous of Kolar in the past. Kolar, much like Stella in the movie, had a very convincing Marilyn Manson costume that he actually wore just this past Halloween. Wait, whoa.
I wasn't. That's not. No.
Is that true?
I wasn't. I was fucking.
Because if you say no, that's not good improv. Just remember that. So you kind of have to yes and me on this.
That's not fair.
I
was Bela Lugosi. I wasn't Marilyn Manson. I was Bela Lugosi.
Then why did you keep saying something really offensive and then you still have to yes and me? I mean, come
Bela
on.
Lugosi is from.
Fine. I'm lying.
Thank you.
I've never met Jeanette McCurdy, but Kolar does love Marilyn Manson. Okay. But
I like. I mean, I guess I have seen him live. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move back to the film at hand. So basically, she hates Halloween because of this dude who dumped her, who is kind of a jerk. He was like a real bad boy, a skateboard punk, and she loved him because he was such a bad boy. And, he turned out to be kind of bad for her. But when she got dumped by him at the dance, he just, like... It wasn't that he said he didn't love her. He just, like, the clock struck midnight, and right before they were going to kiss, sort of like Cinderella, he, like, ran out. I gotta go. I gotta go. And she felt totally dejected by this and couldn't find him after that. And so she was like... What happened?
But then you're forgetting the worst part. It's like they dumped blood on her like Carrie. It wasn't blood, it was like punch. She got punched.
It wasn't they dumped it on her. Someone just threw it at her.
Yeah, but it's like everybody was laughing at her and he wasn't there to comfort her, which is like what made her upset.
Because someone just picked up the punch bowl and tossed it at her face. It wasn't even a good prank.
Everybody thought it was hilarious.
It's so just like the makers of this movie have a hard-on for like non-sexually dousing this woman in whatever beverage is closest. It's always a beverage. It's a coffee in the first scene or second scene or however you want to call it, but in the opening of the movie. Yeah. And then it's in her backstory. In every situation where she is dumped, something splashes her horribly. And later in the movie, spoilers, she is covered in ghost goo or something.
Yeah. Well, it's ectoplasm, but it does not necessarily.
It looks like
it doesn't look like ectoplasm.
It's like teal.
Yeah.
It's not even.
It's not a good color. It's not an attractive color.
Not a good color. It looks like someone put a lot of blue, pastel, sky blue, royal, Princess Diana Beanie Baby blue into
it's a very specific color of blue. And I believe we can all call that purple.
Let's just call that purple.
Let's call it purple.
No, I'm picturing beautiful sky Bunker Brothers logo blue. You all know the one. And she gets, you pour that into a food mixer with some Go-Gurt, and that's what gets yacked all over her later in the movie. So
she gets covered in a lot of goo. That is fair.
She gets splattered a lot in this movie.
But you know what? It passes the Bechdel test, so they can splash wherever the fuck they want.
Well, it's non-sexual. It's not like if it would have been directed by Michael Bay or Unhappy Meal Guy.
Or like us.
Yeah, if it had been directed by you, oh my god, with your Marilyn Manson thing, I mean, come on.
I mean, anyway.
I'm sorry, Marilyn Lugosi. I understand.
No, Bella Lugosi. Anyway.
They're both vampires, and I get scared.
Yeah, that's true. But no, she needs, her aunt needs, I guess, a specific skeleton decoration that she doesn't have.
Well, she's clumsy, so she breaks the one. She's trying to put it up on their Halloween tree.
Yeah.
They always have a very specific skeleton.
Yeah, what was that about? I think it was like Hallmark's like, well, we already have all these Christmas stuff. Let's we gotta use some of it.
You got a formula that works. You gotta use it. You gotta crack it out. The one thing I know about women is they don't want anything new. The same movie again in a slightly different way, please.
They want no excitement. They want the same old men who've hurt them.
What's funniest about me, and I'm going to break from even doing my own bit for a second, is just like my sudden realization midway through doing the bit that's what every undiscerning person of any gender wants, is the same. Because like if you think about Star Wars, like everyone who hated The Last Jedi is just like, fucking. Did you see I won't talk about it if you haven't, but did you see the new Spider-Man yet?
No.
Because there's vaguely, without saying anything that happens in the new latest Spider-Man.
I know all the old Spider-Mans show up or something.
The thing, it's not even that. It's just that the way it starts to get structured in the third act is that it feels like a Raimi Spider-Man movie in some ways, like the scenes they do. And for some reason, this is like 2002, but it was like when I was in high school, I'm just like, oh yeah. In my head, I think, yep, those are the tropes of a Spider-Man movie. And for some reason, that like checks a box in my head.
Yeah,
and that really helped me appreciate why so many people hated The Last Jedi. Because I'm like, these people don't want to see an original story. What they want to see is what they think a Star Wars movie should be. And if they don't get that, they are furious. Whereas, I guess that my difference is that if I get to see a bad Spider-Man movie, I'm like, good, I accepted it was going to be this bad. I've seen tons of bad Spider-Man movies.
Name
it's sort of
one
how I
bad
feel about
Spider-Man movie. Come on.
3. No. The second Andrew Garfield one.
You can't name 3.
No, I mean the third. Oh no, we're not doing a who's on which web. I don't know how to do a Spider-Man who's on first.
It has it has every single bad guy in that one. How could you dislike it?
Well, the thing is about the new one, and this is like so far from the point, and I don't want to get off any more topic because I love Spider-Man and can talk about this, and I know it'll just get me talking about the Batman somehow. But
yeah, that's gonna be good.
But the best thing that the newest Spider-Man movie does is it has so much Marvel movie goodwill built up for itself that it like trades off some of its goodwill to retcon how bad the previous ones were. It's like if a Star Wars movie, it's like if one of the new Star Wars sequels was like made Jar Jar Binks so badass that you were like, oh, I guess I do kind of like the prequel. Like that's that it like retroactively makes me love Andrew Garfield, basically. It's
the thing about Jar Jar Binks being a bad guy was George Lucas's original plan, if you believe conspiracy theories.
I love that theory. If you haven't heard this one,
it seems real.
Jar Jar, there was a secret theory that Jar Jar was like the final Sith Lord.
Yeah. Awesome. So cool.
Okay, anyway, way off topic, way tangential. Let's get back.
She's got to go to the Halloween store to get her aunt the decoration.
She was putting up the skeleton angel on top of their jet black Halloween tree in their living room, and it's like, what's funny is it looks like any like Hallmark movie house. Like, it's not a spooky house, but they are definitely Tim Burtoning it up as much as they can with decorations. Yeah. And so she's clumsy, she falls off the ladder, and like she doesn't get any like really drinks poured on her, but her hand goes into some, I don't know, it's like some Halloween peanut butter cookies or pumpkin cookies or something. Yeah. She gets like peanut butter all over her hand when she
gets
falls.
A little goo on her, not as much as the other shots. But.
She only gets enough so that she gets like a little smear of...
a schmear?
A schmear. She gets some bagels and schmear. And she gets a little bit of smudge on her face. And so anyway, she goes to the Halloween spirit store.
And who should she run into? Oh boy.
There's like the old middle-aged manager guy who's like, you should check that aisle. And then she goes into that aisle, and it's the dude who stood her up at the Halloween dance or bailed on her.
Yep. And she's got a damn smudge on her face.
Yeah, and she still has this peanut butter stain on her face. And he's like, that's how he's sort of like, they have this really awkward exchange where he's like naughty. He's like, hey, what's up?
Hey, I haven't seen you in a long
time. She's like, you're still in this small town? I can't believe it.
I went to the big city.
I went to the big city, not small town. How are you still?
And fucking,
I thought you would be in.
What's his name?
I thought you would be in big city as well. Yeah,
Ben, I thought you'd be in the big city as well, Ben.
With your band or your skateboarding band career. Oh my God! Do you still have chain wallets like you used to?
Yeah, it wasn't clear. He was just like a cool kid in the early 2000s who did all that stuff. Yeah, and it's like, well, I don't know what he was actually good at.
He's an artist. He's got tattoo sleeves, and not just the kind in that Halloween costume over there.
Or are they?
I don't know.
I don't actually know either. They seemed real.
So. I will say that it was cool that they gave the male lead of their movie gauged ears. I thought that was a rare choice, but I guess he was like the punkest dude they could find.
It was probably the same guy. They probably also tried out for the barista, and then they picked him to play the lead instead. Or vice versa. Maybe the barista guy.
The other guy died of COVID and is actually a ghost haunting this movie. They're like, oh, we can't use the barista anymore. Oh, we got to switch him around. So yeah,
but she's like super nervous and like they bumble around their words, and she's
like, I need a skeleton, a dead skeleton. Yeah. Do you have any skeletons? And he just like he's standing in front of a bunch of skeletons.
Yeah,
like,
they're right here. Yeah, silly.
We fucking got him. He doesn't swear, but yeah, they have a lot of skeletons.
If it wasn't a Hallmark movie, he would have swore probably.
But like, she's so stunned that she doesn't get to have like a big confrontation about what happened, because she's just like. I think she's like trying to act cool, or she's doing a bad job of acting cool.
It's weird because it's like it seems like that after that dance, she like almost immediately moved to the big city and like hasn't seen him since, which doesn't necessarily make sense because it's like.
Well, the writers decided conveniently not to give this character a life between those two milestones.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. She's like you didn't spend the rest of high school seeing him, and you never talked.
Yeah, you never talked to him again. Facebook never existed. This is literally these characters went into their eternal sunshine machines and blanked their minds until these events. They exist solely to move commercial products around Halloween or Christmas. It's Hallmark or whatever.
But so they had that weird conversation, and then she goes, well, I guess I'll see you around, and she checks out with a person.
He takes her to the back room for a second so he can wipe the smudge on her face in their first like little intimate moment.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He
takes like a wipe, like a baby wipe. He's like, it's because we get all this ghost goo all over us all the time. And she's like, ha. So I thought, because she's like asking, she's like, I thought you were being the big city. He's like, no, I'm stuck here. You should get out of here.
But then what's weird is she goes to the front and pays for it. Mm-hmm. And as he's leaving, he's like, do you want me to ring you out? And she's like, I already did get rung out. And the person who rang her out is no longer there. So.
Right. The old guy who ushered her in.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You already checked you out? Were you stealing that, you crazy person? Like,
so he makes her pay a second time,
right?
So she really thinks he's a dick, and that's why she doesn't get back together. And he's like, well, you're going to have to pay. Show me your receipt. She's like, well, I can't find it. I just lost it in my purse. And he's like, yeah, right. We hear that all the time. He's like, I'm the only one in here right now.
Yeah.
He's like a real dick about it, to be honest.
Yeah, he's kind of he played that up. He's like be a little mean to her, and he's like, okay, how do I do that?
Also, the scene of them arguing about the receipt lasted about 10 to 15 minutes.
It was a long.
It was a long movie.
Yeah, it was long
For a Hallmark movie. This was almost 3 hours long, and most of it was this receipt scene.
I don't know if it was like supposed to be like a mini series or like a 2-day event.
He was like,
but it was long.
Okay, what's your order code? And she's like, what? Why would I have an order code? You were with me the whole time. You know what I got. He's like, I'm going to have to check the back on this. And so he's like checking all these like order codes and stuff. It takes a long time for him to get through.
It's so long and it's so unnecessary and nothing is accomplished in that scene.
She leaves very upset because not only did she see him again, but they had this terrible interaction. She goes back to her aunt's. And she gets there, and she's like, "Did you get the ornament?" And she's like, "I don't know. And she just starts pulling skeletons out of the bag and handing it to her. And her aunt's looking at him like, "Well, that's not it. That's not it. This is definitely not skeleton." It's
she wanted the one with the red eyes or something. It's like skeletons don't have eyes. First of all, aunt. So calm down.
And I don't know why she thought they would have some specific angel skeleton ornament. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's clear. It looked like the aunt probably made it herself and forgot.
Yeah.
But Stella gets upset, so she goes upstairs to do her Carrie Fisher stuff. And then it's like her aunt
Carrie
knocks
Fisher?
on the doors. Carrie Fisher? Is that not who? Carrie Undertow. What's Sex and the City? Wait.
Carrie Fisher is Princess Leia. Carrie Underwood is a country singer. Carrie on Sex and the City is Carrie Bradshaw, I want to say.
Carrie Bradshaw.
I've seen approximately one episode.
That's Terry Bradshaw. Now we have to IMDb this.
What?
You're thinking of Terry Bradshaw.
And that's Carrie Bradshaw.
I think it is Carrie Bradshaw.
It is! Up your dick! I'm sorry, this episode's for the ladies. Up your gooch.
My dick. Cool.
So,
but yeah, she's doing her Carrie stuff when her aunt comes
Carrie,
in.
when I Googled this, I see that Carrie has a lot of interesting outfits.
Oh, boy. I could have told you that.
Wait, what? Movies and TV shows. The Carrie Diaries, Sex and the City, and just like that, Sex and the City 2, Sex and the Matrix.
What?
I don't know. But I'm clicking it. Sex and the City Matrix parody with Sarah Jessica Parker. Oh, it's for the MTV Movie Awards. Of course it was. Of course it was. No, it's 5 minutes long. I'm not watching this right now, but we will watch this later. We will watch that later. If you'd like to hear our review of Sex and the City Matrix parody,
the 5-minute parody for the 1999 MTV Movie Awards,
2000. Thank you very much. If you'd like to hear that, please send us $1 million on our Patreon, which doesn't exist. But tell us on Twitter at I almost said Sex and the City Pod
at sexandthecity.com, and they'll be like,
Made
"Who
Up
are you
Movies
talking to?"
Pod on Twitter. Yeah, that you will pay good money to hear us review this thing. Anyway.
But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, she's writing her vlog, and her aunt comes in and she's like, "Hey, if you want to stay here, you got to pay rent," which is, news to her.
Yeah, right. It's like, you got to get a job, and we don't have journalism here. This is small town America.
This is small town journalism. Doesn't exist in small town America.
All of our stations were bought out by that one conservative broadcasting company.
Right.
So they but the one thing you're forgetting is that the ghost of the deceased uncle, sort of rears his head in that scene because a picture on the wall starts to move a little bit.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's just a little thing, and it ends because the aunt opens the door. Right. But there are these like little spooky inklings starting to happen besides the ghost guy.
Besides the ghost guy ringing her up and taking her money, I guess.
Yeah, did the ghost guy open the register?
I don't know.
Like, are we supposed to understand that the ghost is operating the till?
He's operating. Well, I don't know. He's British, but yeah.
Chimney. I'm merry old Idris Elba, I am.
Unfortunately, as you know, in small town America, getting a job ain't easy.
Getting a job ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
And so she decides she's going to apply to be a teacher at the small town school.
Yeah.
Because schools need teachers and writers.
And she's a journalist. Yeah.
So
why not?
Therefore, she gets a job as a substitute because one of their recent teachers has died. More Halloween stuff. And so the kids all say that, she was like batty old Mrs. I don't know. I don't remember her last name. Batty old Mrs. Do you have the IMDb still up?
Let me look it up. Sorry.
Anyway,
she's not a main character.
No, she's not even friggin' in it. But they just keep saying whatever. Yeah, I don't know why it would be in there.
Mrs. Cheston.
Yes,
Cheston. Crazy old Miss Cynthia Cheston is her total name. Is her full name.
Well, you found that really fast.
Yeah.
So they're all saying batty old Miss Cheston. She's haunting the school. You're the new Miss Cheston. You're gonna die too. And she's like, what? You kids are mean. And they all shoot spitballs at her and they all get stuck in her hair. And it's like, oh, there's gum in these. And she gets like chased out of the room. And then there's like this sleazy principal who works there. And he's just like, hey, I could show you the ropes of what it means to be a real small town teacher, if you know.
It's so weird. And it's like, and it goes on for.
But it's also sort of implied that she left her aunt's house. It seems like this all happened in the same day as the Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
It seems like she left her house, immediately got a job, immediately started, and immediately was sexually harassed by the principal guy.
Right.
And so she gets creeped out, goes home. It seems like nothing can go her way. But then she hears a noise in the hallway. And it's like her aunt has left the house to go get some groceries because they're going to have a mixer that night with some of the neighbors as like their little pre-Halloween like tell spooky stories night or something. I don't know. And she hears a noise in the hallway and she goes out and like she sees that the staircase, the fold down staircase to the attic is pulled out. And it's like, I don't remember that happening. How did this happen? And so she gets a little plastic fake candle toy from their Halloween decorations, and she like flicks it on, and she goes upstairs, and she's like, hello? And she's like rounding a corner, and then boom, she sees like what she thinks is a face, but it's just like a painting of her uncle. And she's like, oh, Uncle Abner, I can't believe it.
Then she turns around.
Yeah. And there he is.
There he is.
He's right there, and he's staring at her, the real one. But they make him do this weird, like, silhouette-y ghost effect. Yeah. And he's just, like, smiling at her, and it's really creepy, and she screams and runs away. And she runs away and closes her door, and then the door knob starts to, like, jangle, and she's, like, locking it, and she's, like, pulls a pillow over her head and is, like, screaming. Yeah. And then she hears some knocking, and she's like, go away! And it's her aunt, and she's like, well, what happened? She's like, I don't know. I think I just had a bad dream.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of cool.
No, it was like, I watch a lot of horror movies, and that was like it was pretty well done. It was like,
it felt like a scene from Casper.
It was timed well, and even had that jump scare music. It was good.
That's the problem with a lot of this movie is that we haven't been describing is a lot of the music sounds like the over orchestrated music of a 90s comedy where it's like dun 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 dun. Like it's just really like they don't let comedy breathe because they need to underscore everything. Foghorns and shit. So later that night they're like having this like mixer with her aunt's friends and some of the neighbors, and all the ladies are talking and gossiping about just local stuff happening and what's going on at the school and stuff like that. And they're all talking about what a creep the principal is. And that's when she's sort of bummed, and she's like half-assing it and like wearing like I don't know what she's like, got some weird half-assed Halloween costume. It's like
it looked like a sad pumpkin, I guess. But
yeah,
well, it's because
she has like weird face paint on that kind of looks like a pumpkin carving, but like it's not. She's just sort of wearing an orange
she's
shirt.
like half skeleton, half pumpkin, and it's like clearly
weird.
thrown together from her aunt's closet.
Yeah.
Well, because they're asking about the big city and stuff. She's like, well, I never thought you'd come back to the small town. She's like, yeah, I guess I never did
not
either.
unless you totally failed and ruined your life. I mean,
it's like, Jesus Christ, give her a break.
This movie really made me think about a lot of things. So I after that point, she's like really depressed, and then knock at the door, and it's Ben from the store. He's come in, brought some Halloween candy, a candy she really likes. It's like peppermint patties or something. I don't know. I don't really think of it as Halloween candy, but it's some sort of like.
Well, I mean, he's trying to apologize because he realizes that it was the spirit that haunts the place.
Wait, that's what he realizes?
Yeah. He realized that's the spirit that haunts the place.
Wait, so he's only coming to apologize? I thought he was just coming to apologize because they left things awkwardly after that receipt conversation. But he's actually...
it's a little bit of like he was being a dick, and I think maybe he realized it. I don't know.
Look, now that I actually know what happened with the receipt, I'm ready to apologize.
Well, he said he checked the cameras, and he sees her handing the money, I guess. And then the money disappears. Yeah.
Yeah, because they flash back to a scene of him watching the security cameras.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's that fucking... And he's like, he's not worried about it. He's used to it, I guess.
Yeah. And she's like, wait, you believe in ghosts too? And she pulls him up to her childhood bedroom. He's like, wow, it's been a long time since I've been in here.
Cool, Ben.
It smells just like I remember. That was a weird line. I don't know why.
It was a very weird line. And, yeah, it was a little creepy.
Hey, do you still have that dress you used to wear in high school?
He didn't say that, but that was like the insinuation. It's like, glory days. I remember what it was like to be a kid.
It's so at that point, that's when he confesses to her, not that he's still in love with her, but that the reason he never left the town and the reason he believes in ghosts is because he's been cursed. The reason he ran away at the dance all those years ago is because he made a deal with the devil.
Right. It wasn't that he didn't like her; it's that he made a deal with the devil.
He wanted to be like the ultimate. I don't know what it was. It was
he wanted to be a superstar. He said he wanted to be a
superstar. That's right. Yeah. That's why it was so vague, because he never specified.
Never make a vague deal with the devil, because it will come back to bite you in the back.
Right. He said he wanted to be a superstar.
Yeah.
But he never specified what kind.
Yeah.
And so the devil said, "Okay, I'll make you a superstar. The superstar of the Spirit Halloween store."
Yeah. Because he is. He's a really good salesman.
Yeah,
he has the best
sales. He's the
sales.
only employee and the only one they'll ever need. It's the only Spirit Halloween store that stays open year-round because of his
It's impressive. He's that good at it.
But because of the curse, he's only able to leave the store around Halloween when goose and ghouls... I'm sorry, I mean geese and ghouls.
Geese and ghouls. I always love during Halloween when all the geese statues come up.
Well, my aunt loves geese.
Does she have that goose that you dress in like a raincoat and stuff? That stone goose.
Yeah, you put a little devil's costume on. He's a real naughty boy.
I love those. It's such a Midwestern thing.
It's right next to those old wooden cutouts that are hand painted of what looks to be fat people bent silhouettes over in the yard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lawn trash. That's what
Ohio. So basically, he tells her that he's like basically a cursed guy. He's cursed. I don't know. He's a human, but he's cursed.
He's cursed. And he's cursed to work at the store.
He's like, I'll always be cool forever, but only at working at a Halloween store.
Yeah. Not so cool, man. Not so cool.
That's why you still find yourself unexplainably drawn to me. Like,
I mean, yeah, that is fair. No, I don't.
But she's like, I can't believe what a load of horse shit. Like, she's still not ready to come to terms with the fact that that ghosts exist and that it wasn't just a dream, what she saw with her uncle or anything else. She's like, you're just messing with me because you're too much of a jerk to admit that you were wrong and you stood me up. And so she starts fighting with him, and he's like, you don't believe me? All right, then maybe I should just kill myself. And she's like, what? And he dives out her window, which is actually sort of what happens in, what do you call it, in Chimp Patrol. Only he doesn't get thrown this time. He pretends like he's falling and falls out the window. And she looks out the window, and he looks like he's dead on the ground. There's no blood, but he looks like he's dead on the ground. And she's like, what?
He's limp on the ground, basically.
Oh my God, Ben! And then he pops right back up.
He's fine.
He's fine. Like, and she's like, what? How did you do that? Why aren't you hurt? And he's like, because I'm cursed. It's the devil's magic.
Super dark for a Hallmark movie. Like, to just,
I don't know. I think they were trying to make it like a hocus pocus thing or something.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like he literally said suicide multiple times.
Yeah, he kept saying, he's like, believe me, I've tried to kill myself over and over.
Yeah,
over
Jesus
and over.
Christ, dude.
Bathtub with the toaster, noose in the backyard.
I can't do
fog
it.
like Danny's parents in Midsummer. He listed them over.
It is a little insane that they said,
But my last thought, babe, was always of you.
He's so charming. He can't help himself.
He's such a handsome guy.
He's just so charmed by him.
I feel like I can picture myself curling up in his gauged ears like they're little hammocks, and I'm just a little mouse. I just want to cuddle up in there and slide around in my little hamster runaround toy.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens next? I always get lost in the
it's a 3-hour movie. It's not easy to remember. Well, essentially, she loses her job at the school and decides,
right, because she won't sleep with the principal.
Right, but honestly, that doesn't. It's such a weird. I don't know, like that whole school thing.
If you want to advance in the world of teaching, you got to sleep your way up to the top of the union.
It's so uncomfortable for a Hallmark movie, but it's so weird. It's like.
Sense.
None of that school stuff mattered because she ends up getting a job at the Spirit Halloween store. It's like, why not just have her do that immediately and cut down 2 hours of your runtime?
Consequences. That's why.
She doesn't learn anything. Nothing matters from that school.
Everything has consequences, not that
okay. Yeah.
I guess what I mean is cause and effect.
Yeah, but I'm saying the cause of her going to the school is her to get fired. She didn't learn anything.
Okay, so she starts working at the store. There's another scene too where she learns, when she's in the house, she learns that there's a boring scene that we won't go into, I don't think, that much, unless you have something to say, where it's like her aunt's like, you need to give him a second chance, and trying to be the encouraging, get them together kind of thing. And then she's like, oh, your uncle. And then she has a scene in the attic with the uncle where she finally accepts the ghosts are real and has only true love can break the curse.
Right.
Like,
he's like, they make him like so like wacky almost. He's almost like I'm trying to think of a ghost to compare him to. Like
reminded me of like if 30 Rock did a Haunted Mansion parody.
Yes,
that's what he
exactly. Yeah.
Like he should have been eating like a big sloppy ghost sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he's Slimer,
sorry.
basically.
No. You caught me during dinner. Why would a ghost have to eat? Wait, why wouldn't one, huh?
Why not? I'm dead. I can't gain weight. It's
Next
like,
time you come back for... Yeah, that's true. I ain't putting on any pounds, but I'm not losing them anyway. I already lost my head.
He was just chewing the scenery.
And his sandwich. Yay. So anyway, she works at the store. and she's sort of getting like tormented by like poltergeisty things starting to happen at the store.
Yeah, it's clear she is not wanted there at the store. And I guess the only reason she is because Ben hires her, right?
Yeah, Ben hires her. He's a little worried about what could happen, but she's desperate, and so he's like, okay, fine. And then they have sort of like a romantic getting back to know you montage with like the where they're stalking the stores, and he's being cute and putting on masks, and they're having fun stalking the store and like helping little kids pick out their outfits and stuff, and they're having like
It seems like everything's coming together for them to get back together.
And he's like, I'm gonna go out to Subway. God, I love their delicious sandwiches. Yeah. And I guess there's some tie-in or something. And I
don't know. I mean, clearly Subway sponsored them because that's a weird line to say.
Yeah, but he was like, you said it was 2016. It was really weird that he like specifically says, like, man, I always liked that Jared from Subway guy. I don't think he did anything wrong. Like, he's literally... I don't know why he said it.
It's a weird line. It's not... It didn't make sense, but again, also they talk about Marilyn Manson too, so it's clearly this person.
The movie has it has a lot of heart and sentiment, but it also has some weird politics because like
it's some it's some very strange politics and undertones.
He's cursed. I mean, he's friends with the devil or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's the point.
Maybe that's why.
But he's like, that Jared guy, he deserves a second chance, and she sort of tilts her head like maybe.
You are cute though, so
yeah, right. Like even she's not on board.
I don't think anybody's ever thought that.
And so she's alone in the store, and then we start getting that like slasher cam, like something stalking her from behind the costumes in the aisles, and she's like, "What was that?" She keeps turning around, like, must have been just a cat." And so then she walks into the back and she turns around and they do the same scare again where there's someone behind her. And it's the devil, but instead of it being a scary devil, it's like they're out of budget, and it's just like a very cartoonish, like Futurama style devil who is like not in terms of costume.
He's wearing like a Spirit Halloween costume.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "Hello, I'm the devil." He's like a weird
he didn't sound exactly like the Futurama devil, but the sentiment was the same.
Thank you. That's a good compliment. Gotta work.
You could be Bender, I guess.
Hello.
That's not Bender.
Cheese it. No, I can't. That's too right.
Not good.
I want more money. For all of us. And if not for all of us, then for me.
Me specifically.
But basically, the devil is like some weird character actor guy who's like lanky and seems like Salvador Dali.
Yeah, he's fun.
In a Spirit Halloween costume. And he kind of reminds me of the villain from Warriors of Virtue. Not as talented, though.
Nope, not as talented. Well, they like him and the uncle, like they're both like very like, they seem like pretty fun character actors. It's like, I don't know why. I think they needed a paycheck.
They're probably in all of these movies.
Maybe. I don't know if like they're like stage actors who are like, it was very strange.
They're definitely playing it as if we're watching from the cheap
seats. Yeah, for sure.
So he's like, you can save your true love, Ben, but you'll have to be the one to work here forever instead.
Right. Not
she's
like,
a great deal. I could save Ben. And she's like considering it. And she's like, no, I'm going to believe in the power of true love. And he's, true love won't work. He'll never love you. He never did love you. He told me everything. What he really loves is himself. That's why he wants to be a superstar.
That's why he wants to be a superstar, yeah.
And so he comes back, and they eat their sandwiches, and she's like, hey, I talked to your friend, the devil. And he's like, yeah, right. What did he have to say? And she's like, well, he says that you only love yourself and that you'll never love anyone else. Is that true? And he looks like embarrassed, and he's like, it's like he's starting to get feelings for her again, but doesn't want to say it. He's like, well, I don't know. Would you ever want to love somebody who's stuck in a store most of the year? And she's like, well, if it was a store as fun as this one, maybe I would.
Yeah. And
so they're about to kiss, and then the devil appears again and starts throwing dolls at them.
Yeah.
And is like, I'll do everything in my power to stop this true love from breaking my curse.
I guess true love somehow stops the devil's curse, which I've never heard
yeah,
of.
of course
it
does. It's a Hallmark movie.
That's not Faust, though. That's like, doesn't like once you make a deal with the devil, that's it.
I don't know. In Cuphead, you just got to shoot him a bunch, and he's done for it.
Yeah.
You just steal the paperwork back. And then this, I think they're going by Disney logic. It's like you make a deal with Hades, you just sort of fall in love or something. You just need
true love, and then it's fine, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, I accepted it, but I was like, wait a minute.
It's got to be a true
That's not
hero.
actually... I don't think that's helpful. Anyway.
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
I'll try it later, okay? I'll figure it out. Yeah. And just in case you're a dude who's listening to this and stuck it out and being like, I hate Hallmark movies, Cyberpunk's really good right now. They fixed it, so go check that out. Anyway, back for the ladies.
Women can't play Cyberpunk?
No, women can play Cyberpunk. And I will say, if you're a lady who's a real perv, you'll enjoy that the game has a penis-size slider.
Oh, that's fun.
Just like Age of Conan. Okay, so speaking of penis-sized sliders, giant.
I don't know how you can do this one?
Yeah, me either. Stella's trying to get something to slide inside her, but she can't because these puppets are flying all over, and they're like shooting slime. Speaking of shooting slime,
okay. Well, yeah, this is when she gets covered in slime.
Yeah, they shoot her with ectoplasm, and she's like trying to hide behind the costume racks, and they're like, we have to. There's only one way to break this curse. We have to be in love. And he's like, I don't know. I can't do this to you. You know, I think you should just get out and save yourself. He's like, save myself? What about you? He's like, I just don't want anything to happen to you.
Right.
And that's when they realize that he loves her. And he starts glowing. And the devil's like, wait, what's happening?
You thought about somebody besides yourself?
That's not what a superstar does. Would David Lee Roth ever think of anyone but himself? Never! Yeah,
really pisses the devil off.
And the devil explodes into a bunch of like bats and that are made in After Effects.
Essentially, the store starts falling apart. Which is...
like the House of Usher or something, or the Shining House or something, or the Poltergeist house. It all gets sucked into a thing, and they're watching from outside, awed and hushed. And the aunt comes by and is like, "What's all the commotion?" And that's when she sees. In sort of like a portal that's appearing in the center of the thing, as the devil disappears, then so does the uncle's face, and the uncle's face is like.
So what did that mean? Is he in hell?
He's going to hell. Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
He stole that sandwich.
That's insane. Because I was like, is it insinuating that like his work here is done? Because he didn't do anything really, right?
Well, this is a universe without heaven, so everyone just goes to hell.
No, but not even that. Like he appeared to Stella, but like. He didn't necessarily help her. He sort of just spooked her out and then like ate a sandwich in front of her.
Look, I think the makers of this movie were just trying to wrap things up. So you don't have to.
Our runtime's getting pretty long. We had that soul
you don't have to pull on the thread too hard. It seems
that
like the uncle's just getting wrapped up, getting tired.
Well, it seemed like they wanted him to come back and like get back with the aunt, but then instead they just sent him to hell.
Yeah, they should have had a nice moment, but he did say to her, he's like, "You'll always be in my heart," and she's like, "Oh," and then
hell.
But then he's also eating a sandwich as he gets sucked away.
So hell's not so bad. I mean, Jared's there eating sandwiches, right?
And then the devil's like, "Where did you get that?" No, he doesn't say that.
I got it from Jared.
I got it from Jared. He's here too. I am that bad.
I'm that bad. I'm the worst. Yeah.
No, Jared. And so everything gets sucked away.
Yeah.
And then Ben's like, I know something that could get sucked away. And she's like, oh, Jared. Oh, that doesn't happen either.
That doesn't happen either. They cut away, and she's back in the big city, and she looks...
Right.
Not as, I guess, disheveled. They make her look more put together, I guess.
Right, and she's back at the old coffee shop.
Yeah.
And she sees the couple from the beginning of the movie, her ex, and they're fighting. And it looks like their relationship is really shitty now.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what are you doing here? She's like, I'm just seeing my boyfriend's band. And then he's on stage. He skateboards on stage for some reason with his guitar. Yeah. And like he's like, and now you're gonna hear some of the best Oasis covers, and they can't play any because of rights. But you know,
right? They can't play, but he sounds like he like takes on the intonation of
it's sort of he's sort of like acting like he's both brothers and shoving himself a little. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, just wearing sunglasses, hands down.
He just says sunshine a lot, and it's just sunshine. Like we get it, shine. Yeah. And the aunt's there too for some reason. I guess she moved there too, and she's just there for a happy ending. And it's like, oh, you got a new boyfriend? Is he into ethical non-monogamy? And the girlfriend like punches him in the arm.
Yeah, and he falls over and he lands in a pie, basically.
Yeah, right. He gets, and it's that same guy from the beginning of the movie. He spills his pie all over.
Oh yeah. It's the same fucking stupid dog.
Why did we start selling pies? The barista's upset, and she's like, I guess true love really does conquer all, and she winks, and then it ends as
everybody is loving the band though. Yeah. He is killing it. It's like that movie. It's like that commercial with that lady who has to poop.
Yeah, it's just like the Charmin Bears. Also. Yeah. Wait, what lady has to poop?
There's a commercial with this lady who's like in a band, but she has Crohn's disease, so she keeps having to shit. But at the end, she takes the medicine, and the fucking crowd goes wild. Basically, the same shot.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is so. That's a hometown Halloween from Michaela Stewart. The suggestion came. Yoda said it. And that's all from us, right?
What would you give it? I'd give it. I mean, for a Hallmark movie,
you always remembered to ask me because I always forget that we need to.
Yeah, well, you got to rate. You're a critic. You got to rate the movie. You can't just talk about it and not rate it.
Thumbs up or thumbs down. I would say this was my favorite of the movies we watched
because it was so unexpected, I guess.
I think it was just like the least painful. Like it's objectively not a good movie. It is like, but I think it's one of the better Hallmark movies, if that makes sense.
For sure. Even though it was like 3 hours long and we had to like slog through a lot of it, it didn't feel as slow as say
the receipt scene went on forever. But other than that, it was enjoyable. I thought even the hammy overacting characters were fun to watch. So overall, I liked it. What about you?
Yeah, I would say the same. I liked it. I would say if it was like if they like broken into 2 parts like the original It, where it's like I could watch it over 2 days, I think I would have liked it more. But I did like it.
And there was like a fortune cookie with an eyeball in it. That'd be really fucked up.
Or like, and I think Hallmark has the whole thing here where like, just do other genres or do other holidays for your
Arbor Day. President's Day. Maybe a lady has a sexy thing with Lincoln or something.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
I don't want to give our fans too many ideas for movies they could suggest that actually exist, because this is made up movies.
That are real movies.
All of these movies definitely exist. We're not just sitting here making this shit up as we go. This is all real movies.
That'd be insane.
That we are reviewing. But if you do have suggestions for stuff that you want to watch or you have watched and want to recommend to us, just go onto Twitter, type in Made Up Movies Pod, and send us a message on there with the name of the movie and a log line. We'll put it on the list and then use our magic number roulette to figure out what we're going to watch. And you can also email us at madeupmoviespod@gmail.com. And that's it. I'm Matt Shore. That's Mike Kolar.
Yes.
And anything you want to add, Coles?
No, that's all.
What?
No, that's all. I said that's all. That's good. We're good.
Okay.
You covered it.
I know, but okay. Never mind. Goodbye. That's it. We love you. Bye-bye. Stay safe out there. Bye.